From the Championship to being elite. Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining me for episode 1 of my Football Manager 2020 Fulham career. Really looking forward to this one, looking forward to working alongside the one, the only Tony Khan as our Director of Football. Fulham, they were in the Premier League last season, didn't quite work out so well for them. They had Claudio Ranieri take over, that didn't work out, then they got rid of him. Scott Parker turned up towards the end of last season, they got relegated, and now we start all over again with me in charge. So Shahid Khan, he is the chairman. You can see, you know, their club history, they've won the Championship, and they haven't really done much else since then. You know, there's no FA Cups, no League Cups, certainly no Premier Leagues or Champions League, so it's almost as if we're starting from scratch, and we are going to look to build Fulham into an elite side. There was once a time when Fulham were an established Premier League side, and things just haven't turned out so well for them over the last 5 years or so. So we're gonna have to sort that out. Let's get them into the Premier League. It shouldn't. Well, obviously it's going to be a challenge to get them promoted, but obviously we're going to be favourites to get promotion. But it's staying in the Premier League that's going to be the challenge. Competing for a place in the Europa League, the Champions League, even competing for the Premier League title when you've got the likes of Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea and so on compete for it as well at the same time. It's going to be tough. It's going to be grueling, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. So here we go. This is our overview of the current Fulham squad. We've got our transfer obligations. We've got our team report, the best 11, using a 4-2-3-1. I've actually been thinking of using a 4-2-3-1 this season. I know last year on FM19 I used a 4-3-3, so we'll go with that. I mean, we've got some decent players in there, decent Championship players that will certainly help us to promotion this season. Anthony Knockhart, we've got Seri, a player that's currently on loan at the moment to Galatasaray. Can't wait to get him back into the team and utilise him. Fabricio is on loan. We do have Tom Kearney, want to keep him at Fulham. It's going to be difficult to keep hold of him. I'm sure some top sides are going to be in for him. But the plan is to keep hold of him. Mitrovic also will be another player that other teams will be looking to snap up. So it's going to be difficult to try and keep hold of them. We'll have to wait and see what happens, what comes along in the transfer window at the start of this save. So club culture, develop players using the club's youth system, play possession football, play attacking football, two things that I've always done on FM. Sign players under the age of 22 for the future. Got a few in mind. Can't wait to show you guys that. Here is our 5-year plan. Already liking this. Loving FM20 so far this year. So the end of this current season, Shahid Khan expects us to win promotion, reach the 4th round of the FA Cup, reach the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Those two are minimum requirements. But we've got to win the Championship. We've got to win promotion. We've got to get into the Premier League for next season. And as you can see, my contract expires at the end of next season. We've got to remain in the Premier League, and after that, just become an established side in the Premier League. They're not expecting anything more than that, but obviously I want to always do the best with any team that I manage on Football Manager, so we're going to be aiming for the highest. So if we take a quick look at our calendar then, so we start off with pre-season. It's quite a long pre-season, which I'm happy with. Disappointed that all the games are at home. I hate playing home games for pre-season. But we start off our new Championship campaign away to Barnsley. That's a very winnable game. Then we've got Blackburn, Huddersfield, Millwall. Let's have a look at December. What's the fixture list like? Obviously this is all subject to change with cup fixtures taking place and so on. But we've got Leeds and Stoke. Only 3 home games in December. And then the last game of the season is away to Wigan. And hopefully by then we'll have had promotion to the Premier League all wrapped up. Let's go across to our tactics then. So normally I go with a vertical tiki-taka style of play, dominating possession, relentless pressing. It's what I've It's what I used last year on FM19 with Manchester United. Worked wonders, winning the Premier League multiple times, even a Champions League title in there as well. And this is the formation that I use for that, the 4-3-3 or the 4-1-4-1 DM wide. But as I mentioned earlier, I want to go with the 4-2-3-1, as that will of course allow us to use Tom Cairney as a number 10, as we already saw in the overall of the best 11. We're going to go attacking. Obviously that's all subject to change depending on the situation, depending on the game and who we're playing against, where it is it home, is it away, because you have to adjust all your settings, all your tactics for those away games. Just makes sense. I mean, there's no point going away to a team and going gung-ho, because you'll just be asking for trouble, you know. So we're just going to fill in the team here. So Bettinelli is going to be our number 1 goalkeeper. It's probably a position that we will have to strengthen. So many positions that we're going to have to strengthen throughout this save. We'll just fill in our back line. So Alfie Mawson we've already got in. There's Lamarche. I think our 2 centre-halves, I think that central defensive position, that's definitely a key place that we need to strengthen, as well as central midfield, whether that in this transfer window, because normally what I like to do is just work with what I've got when I start a new save, work with what I've got for the first season, and then go from there. If we need to make a few additions in January, then we'll have a look at what the options are on the transfer list, who's available for loan and so on. But here right now we're just laying down the foundations, the skeleton crew, the skeleton team, or the spine of the team, however you want to look at it, I suppose. And obviously Mitrovic is gonna, well, hopefully be our top goal scorer this season, being the point of the attack. And already I'm quite surprised at seeing that. I've only just started this save and already Tom Cairney and Mitrovic, I know they played together last season, but already they've got an understanding. There's a link there. So if we take a look at our budget, then we've got 5 million in the kitty with only £708 per week for the wage. But obviously if we adjust that, we're looking at about just under 4 mil. It's not too bad. I mean, money's already been spent in this summer window. If you have a look at our transfer history, 30 mil has been spent, bringing in Michael Hector from Chelsea, Josh Onomar for 5 mil. He's an interesting one, actually. Onomar, I think, if I remember right, a couple of FMs ago, he had quite the potential. Still does. Still a young player. So it'll be hopefully fun to work with him in that number 10, but obviously Tom Cairney going to be taking that position. Michael Hector from Chelsea. Do we need to strengthen that centre-back position if we've got him in the summer alongside Alfie Mawson and Lamarche? And I'm not too sure. Maybe one more player for that position. We'll have to have a look. But he's looking decent, you know, for a championship player. And if we do have a look at Josh Onomar, I mean, his potential does say 4 out of 5 stars. Still at the age of 22. Another homegrown player for a number 10. He's got good first touch, good dribbling. Obviously that could all change. All depends on how hard he works. If he puts in the performances, then no doubt he'll help us to success. Whether that short term or long term, we'll have to wait and see. Harry Arter also in, Ivan Calavaro and Anthony Knock are all on loans for this season. So come the end of this season, if we can get promotion, get that money in the budget, those 3 players, they'll be gone. We'll have to look to strengthen. Well, we'll definitely have to strengthen if we do make the Premier League for next season. But for now, again, we're going to have to work with what we've got, and them 3 players are very capable of helping us achieve promotion. In the summer, Ryan Babel left for Galatasaray. He left on a free. Ryan Sessegnon went to Spurs, as we know, for 25 million. Such a bargain for them, for such a quality player that's got bags of potential. Lazar Markovic, did he really play much for Fulham last season in the Premier League? I don't think he did. I don't recall his name being used that much. And Seri, he's on loan. I can't wait to get him back. It's a pity we can't recall him now. and have him for this season. Right then, let's go ahead and meet the team. Introduce ourselves. There is the squad dynamics. As you can see, team leaders Tom Kearney, Bettinelli and Tim Ream. Highly influential players, Johansson, McDonald and Mitrovic. Let's introduce ourselves. So we're going to be passionate. Wanted to take the opportunity. On behalf of the team, I'd like to welcome you and look forward to playing under your management, Tom Kearney says. I think we're good enough to go up as champions this year. Got to keep it aiming high. Not the response I was hoping for. At least it's not negative. Those players that don't really have much to say. And we've gone through the code of conduct as well, which is a new feature to FM this year. But that's going to be about it for this first episode, this intro to my new FM save with Fulham. From the Championship to being elite. We most certainly will. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon for the next one.